Welcome to Small Beer by Beverly Williams.
Once upon a time, there were three beers: Papa beer, Mama beer, and small beer. While Mama beer was a comfy pint, Papa beer was a burly quart. And of course, small beer was. Wait, the Lord of the Rings taught me that beer came in pints, but now quarts? I want one now. But I'm not finished with my story yet. Too bad. I'm I'm drinking that one now. Actually, I'll take the mama and the papa. Bye. Now that all I have left is small beer, I guess I'll make the story only about small beer.
As some of you know, small beer has nothing to do with size. But you'll understand that better as you learn a little history about small beer. But first, a confession. I'm a teetotaler. That is, I don't drink alcohol. I would love to say that this is for religious reasons, but in fact, it's because I'm allergic to all alcoholic drinks. Since I am a churchgoer, though, a little bit of self-righteousness creeps into my life surrounding the fact that I don't drink alcohol. The information you will learn denies me that privilege. Let's talk about the Pilgrims and the Puritans. Do you imagine them to be ultra religious as I do? The Pilgrims and the Puritans were exiled from England and Europe because they were non-Catholic. Today, non-Catholics, that is, Protestants or evangelicals, are associated with the teetotaling prohibition, a hangover, pun intended, from the 18th Amendment of 1919, which prohibited the manufacture, sale, or transportation of intoxicating liquors. This was repealed by the 21st Amendment in 1933. Has it always been the case that people in America thought that alcohol was the devil's drink? Hardly. Here are the facts. People need water to survive. However, they don't just drink it. They also wash their clothes in it, dishes, selves in it, use it for all kinds of manufacture, such as running mills or rinsing leather baited with poop and urine. As people began to congregate around water sources in bigger towns, inevitably that water would become contaminated with the runoff and waste from washing, manufacture, farming, animals, and humans. Then people would get sick and not know why. This was hundreds of years before germs were identified as the culprits in sicknesses. People just attributed sicknesses to bad airs or foul humors or bad tasting water or even astrological lineups. People did realize when they drank wine and beer, they didn't get sick. Common people couldn't afford wine, but they could homebrew a beer with lower alcohol content, which kept them well. They didn't know that beer was safer to drink. As Dana Johnson said in their 2015 article entitled, "Did the Pilgrims on the Mayflower Really Drink Beer?" Beer was safer because it was slightly acidic and had alcohol. This meant it couldn't harbor pathogenic, that is, disease-causing bacteria long term. Also, beer was like liquid bread. It had calories, too. According to Wikipedia, at mealtimes in the Middle Ages, all drank small beer, regardless of age, particularly while eating a meal at the table. Small beer, also called table beer, was around this time typically less than 1% alcohol by volume. On long sea voyages, such as crossing the Atlantic Ocean, it was very hard to come by fresh water. Therefore, sailors and their passengers, such as those on the Mayflower, were allotted at least 1 gallon of small beer per day. Furthermore, Sir John Pringle, founder of modern military medicine, reported in 1776 an article entitled "A Discourse upon some late improvements of the means of mariners," that beer prevented scurvy. The ships carrying the Pilgrims, and later the Puritans, were cargo ships capable of carrying 180 tons of cargo in addition to its passengers. Beer was so important that the Puritans who arrived in the New World 10 years after the Pilgrims came with 10,000 gallons of beer, 120 casks of malt for brewing, and 12 gallons of Dutch gin. That is 1/4 of the cargo was alcohol related, according to an article by Shaughnessy Farrow in 2015 entitled 11 Booze-Soaked Facts About Alcohol's Role in America's History. Not only did the first religious people in the New World drink small beer regularly, they preferred it to water. Those Puritans who came after the Pilgrims were shocked that the Pilgrims had remained as well as they did, despite not having beer and only drinking water. Alcohol was so important that taverns were the first courthouses. The first college in the New World was Harvard, established in 1636. Like all colleges of that time, Harvard was a seminary, a place to be trained as a pastor or a religious leader. And it contained one of the first breweries in the New World. By 1703, Harvard had 3 breweries. Therefore, the first Americans, religious or not, drank small beer and other alcohol regularly. Despite my being a teetotaler and despite the reputation of religious people being against drinking, alcohol is not the culprit. The Bible clearly states that drunkenness is the problem, not drinking alcohol in moderation. I have a theory about why drunkenness spiked after the Industrial Revolution, precipitating Prohibition, but that is my next speech. Here are some references should you want to learn about this yourself. Let's all lift up a drink and toast to small beer.